Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Touched and Empowered, where we're actually going to talk about superstitions because it's Friday the 13th when we're recording. Yes, Katie. Yes. Tell me about a superstition that you know.
A superstition that I know?
Yeah.
Well, one of the most obvious ones that I remember from Friday the 13th is you're supposed to wear black, but I don't remember why. I just remember that was something as a child, as a teenager. Friday the 13th was wearing black and you wanted to avoid cats.
Right. Is there a, what do you call it? Is there a, is there like a Googleable definition as to why you wear black?
You want me to do a little search on Friday the 13th superstitions?
Yes, folks, we're doing that because as we're doing it, I'm painting my nails dark black of sorts. My nieces gave me this really cute like nail set for Christmas, I think, or yeah, for Christmas. And I've never used it. And now I'm like, why not? Let's play with it. Let's enter the darkness.
We're going to ask my good friend ChatGPT.
Oh, ChatGPT, we love you.
So, Friday the 13th is widely regarded as an unlucky day, particularly in Western cultures. There are several superstitions and beliefs associated with it, rooted in both historical and modern lore. Number one is the unlucky number 13, which makes sense. I mean, that's been considered an unlucky number for, oh gosh, heaven knows. What does it say? Is considered unlucky possibly due to the association with irregularity, such as systems that favor the number 12, like 12 months, 12 zodiacs, 12 and a dozen. The fear, and then in Christianity, the number 13 is considered unlucky because of the Last Supper, where Judas, the discipline, betrayed Jesus. He was the 13th guest.
Oh, I see.
I had no idea about that. So, interesting tidbit. Friday is unfortunate connotations. In many cultures, Friday is just associated with bad luck. In Norse mythology, Friday is associated with Freya, the goddess of love and fertility. But when Christianity spread, she was demonized, leading to the association of Friday with ill fortune. And it is said that Jesus was crucified on a Friday.
So you know how Friday is the last day of the week and everyone loves it?
Which is really funny because when you look at a calendar, Saturday looks like the last day of the week.
True. Very true. Very, very true.
So combinations of Friday and the 13th. When Friday and the 13th day of the month coincide, it considered a potent mix of two unlucky elements. Historically, this date is linked with negative events and misfortune. One famous historical event on a Friday the 13th was the arrest of the Knights Templar on Friday, October 13th, 1307.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm liking ChatGPT's information so far. So, okay, here we go. Common superstitions. Avoid travel. Many believe that traveling on Friday the 13th is risky or unlucky. Financial woes. Some people avoid making major purchases or financial decisions on this day, fearing bad outcomes. Marriage or events. Couples often avoid getting married or hosting important events on this date. And hospital visits. In some cultures, it's unlucky to schedule a medical procedure or visit a hospital on this day. Pop culture influences. Movies, books, and TV shows like the popular Friday the 13th franchise has further cemented this date as one associated with fear, bad luck, and supernatural. These superstitions, while widely known, may vary across cultures and not everyone holds them to be true.
Phenomenal.
I'm not giving ChatGPT much weight on this one.
Yeah, no, but let's talk about other like superstitions that I've good numbers, like seeing three sixes. Actually, if you're a new ager, that means love and good luck, which is really
Well,
interesting.
that if you is that the angel number?
That's the angel number,
Right.
but the devil number is like
The devil number was 666. I know because I had a t-shirt that said 333, I'm only half evil when I was in high school. So, random fact. Um, but no, there's a lot of different superstitions around dates, around numbers, around animal like black cats, for example.
yeah.
There are superstitions around black cats being connected to witches. We're coming up on Halloween too, so that's the other reason why I'm throwing that in there. Um,
Talked about this black cat incense.
yeah, black cat incense, which you were telling me before the recording that has the ability to turn bad luck into good luck.
Yeah, it's really
You know,
interesting.
the superstition that if you hang a horseshoe up on the wall or above a door frame, you put it so it's a U shape pointing up, so then that way it catches all of the good luck.
I
Because
didn't
if
know.
you put it upside down, all the luck pours out.
I had no idea. That's something I remember seeing them on doors, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But that's like I don't really thought about it.
Yeah, that was one of those things that I think my granddad told me, or one of my uncles told me once upon a time. Is yeah, I'm like, why is it the way that it would be like if it was on a horse, where it's a U, an upside down U,
Hmm, interesting.
and they're like, because then all the luck runs out. And I was like, what? And then that's what he told me. He says the reason they're that way is because then they're like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It captures and holds all of the good luck. And I'm like, you and your Irish superstitions, I don't get it. But
Let's talk international superstitions. I like
international superstitions.
let's talk about Filipino superstitions too.
Well, those you're gonna have to share because I don't know those. I mostly
Those
know
are
just basic.
they're freaking like all right. So if anybody goes to the Philippines, yes, it has some beautiful travel destinations. I highly encourage it. The most beautiful ones are Boracay and going to Palawan and whatever you see on Instagram where people are traveling and you see the crystal clear water and it's beautiful and whatnot. Just go with always follow the locals on the lore. Whatever they say, go with it. Especially if you notice they're scared of something, believe it. Like
When it comes to like certain locations or just
the specific thing.
general. Okay.
Yeah. So for instance, and you know how Hawaii also has superstitions and like if you
Oh
look,
yeah, like Hawaii, you're not supposed to take any lava rocks off the island because otherwise they get pissed.
they get pissed and then you're bad
Whatever her name is gets pissed.
LA. And then you
Thank
get
you.
the goddess of lava.
Yeah, I couldn't remember her name right now, but yes, I do remember that one.
Yes. And then she gets pissed and then you're like bad luck for the rest of your life type of thing.
Right.
Right. And people send back the rocks.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So in the Philippines, it's a little more like if you think about Supernatural, the TV show,
Okay.
pretty like that. Like like that. Like there are things that steal your soul in the middle of the night. Fairies,
Yeah.
fairies, like Celtic fairies, you know how Celtic fairies aren't really like sweet. Like they're just they
Yeah, and that's where like leaving out a bowl of cream or a saucer of milk or something overnight was supposed to help feed the fairies and the brownies. So then that way they would watch over your home versus
tear it
not watch
apart.
over your home. Yeah, versus tear it apart.
Yeah, exactly. You just put yeah. In the Philippines, it's something similar. We have like the craziest lore. Like the fairies essentially live in these giant ant mounds that you're never supposed to point at. If you point at them, they'll follow you, and
Oh,
like that's not a good thing. And if a fairy likes you, essentially it steals your soul in the middle of the night. Like it's one of those things.
okay.
Or my favorite, well, not my favorite. There's a few that are really weird. Like there was one where there's like these dancing, like there's these trees. They're really, really large, really,
Mm-hmm.
really large, and you're not supposed to stand under them. Like you shouldn't be. And I don't know exactly what they're called, but my sister, when she was younger, she created this really intensive story using Filipino lore where somebody stood underneath the tree and then he just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker every day because the lore goes if you stand underneath that tree there's this like white spirit, this like really evil white female abuela, like old lady, that like curses you because you're not supposed to be under those trees, especially if you're American. It's like it's like whoa, it gets pretty. Um, there
Yeah,
are other.
I know that there are so many different lore stories from so many different cultures that deal with everything from, well, not even just cultures, but religions as well. Because, like, for example, now my word is not gold on this because I'm trying to remember what a family member told me. But in the Jewish faith, when someone passes away, you cover up a mirror
Yeah,
for, and it could be 7 days, it could be a month, it could be a year, depending on which, for lack of a description, branch of Judaism you're in, or which family member it is. Because I know my mom's beau, or my mom's guy, is Jewish, and he, I think, grieved for a year
mm,
when his dad passed away and a year when his mom passed away. So I know, like, when a parent dies, it's a really long time. I don't remember if he had a mirror covered the entire time, but there's something about not looking in a mirror, looking at your reflection when someone's soul has left this plane.
that's
So I
interesting.
might have to, I'm going to look into that because I know there's something more to it. Um, so
Yeah,
maybe we should have done research before recording this episode about
I mean, hey,
superstitions.
we have Google, we have ChatGPT.
We have ChatGPT, Google. Um,
Here's
but I know that there are different
superstitions.
superstitions, in religion and in just culture in general.
Yeah, even
Um,
local superstitions.
even local, oh my gosh, there's local superstitions about, okay, I am in Maryland where Edgar Allan Poe
Oh,
resided. There's a lot of superstitions around Edgar Allan Poe's house and the graveyard where he's buried.
oh my! I love how we're fitting this with the whole writer look that I'm
Yes,
pulling.
you very much look like a writer with the beret and the really dark lipstick on today.
In the
Um,
voice.
but it but there are other ones like, what were they called? Urban legends?
Yeah, yeah. The Jersey Devil was one.
Bloody
There's
Mary?
Bloody Mary. Not, and there was this one superstition, and I would love to actually ask ChatGPT about this,
Okay.
where you're not are like you're not supposed to take pictures of the dead, and I'm not sure why. That was something my sisters talked about when I was growing. By the way, my sisters looked like this. By the way, if you're listening, it's like the French beret with the dark lipstick because they were 90 in the 90s. They were in high school. And I don't know. I just remember being around a lot of superstitious stuff in the 90s, pretty much when I was born.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to remember about previous ones. Um, and I remember Bloody Mary. I remember the story of the hitchhiker. I remember the one about flashing your high beams at somebody coming in the opposite direction that doesn't have their headlights on. But then again, these were all ones that were used in the urban legend movies. So that's probably why I'm remembering
I'm
them.
like, interesting. If you've ever watched one of my favorite movies, Practical Magic, there,
Yes.
there's superstitions riddled all over that movie because they're considered witches, of course.
Yep. All
And
right.
some
So
of it, I'm like, huh. Like if a broom falls, it means company is coming.
that makes sense.
Yeah. When you bite your, well, that's not from the movie. When you bite your tongue, that part. Like someone's talking about you, your ears ringing regarding which one is ringing. Someone's either speaking well or good about you.
Right.
If your hands are itchy,
Yeah,
money.
depending on which palm it is, it determines as to whether it's money or whether it's something else.
Yeah.
In reference to photos of the dead, there is no superstition about taking photos of the dead as being bad luck.
Okay. Then they were just doing it to scare me.
Yeah, the 10 cemetery superstitions that are not true. That is like the first one on the list.
That's cool. But what are those?
What are those? Um, ooh, interesting. It's taking me to a memorial planning website. Okay. Pallbearers must wear white gloves to protect against evil. Another myth. Only criminals are buried on the north side of the church. Oh, I remember this one. Hold your breath when passing a cemetery.
Oh yeah, that took a while. I remember doing that and I was like almost at the 3-minute mark once. I was like, yes. Oh, yeah.
Don't point at graveyards.
Okay.
Funeral bells keep spirits in their place. Wildflowers in cemeteries are signs that a person went to heaven. Taking flowers from a grave will bring bad luck.
I mean, just out of sheer
That's
respect,
just
I would
rude.
do that anyways. Yeah.
That's just rude. Everyone must wear black to a funeral.
I want
And
everyone.
that's in America, but it says in here in China, mourners actually wear white.
Oh yeah, I want everyone wearing highlighter pink, obnoxiously.
I want
I
a
want,
whole rainbow of colors.
I want high, just like vibrant colors, so that when somebody, and I want to make sure my funeral is scheduled on the day of somebody else's. So when they're wearing all black, I
Um,
want all the colors.
here's one, but this one doesn't make sense to me. It's bad luck to be the first one to leave in a cemetery. So if you're a group of mourners, it's bad luck to be the first one to leave. So how do you decide when it's time for everybody to go? Or does everyone just go at once? I don't know.
I guess they go. You give them like a patch of garlic. I don't know. to allow them to go. That's so
And then it's actually number 2 that it's bad luck to take photos of a grave site because the biggest myth of all is that cemeteries are evil.
where are we gonna put our dead? Come on, folks. Like,
I mean, it makes sense why people might consider. But then again, any myth or lore can make sense if you have a little bit more information as to how it was created in the first place.
also breaking mirrors.
Breaking mirrors, 7 years bad luck.
Which I'm kind of like, so you know when of the Jewish faith, you when you get married, glass. It's not a mirror, right? It's glass.
No, it's I believe it's a glass wrapped in a napkin.
Okay.
Now again, I'm trying to pull from what little bit I know, and most of my knowledge about the Jewish faith, I will admit, is from movies. So I would actually have to ask my mom's guy for the reason for that. I don't know. Actually, we could just ask. We'll just ask.
Yes, there's a guide nowadays.
There's Google. We'll just ask Google.
Google, what is it? What do we do? Ladies and gentlemen, for anybody who creates a video where AI like you like create like a I would love somebody to create a video where we ask AI a question and it just has a sense of humor and gives you the wrong facts. Like anyone makes like just a fun video to make on stories, YouTube, whatever. If you ever create this, please let us know.
Please tag us.
I want to see like a video of somebody dependent on AI. We ask it questions and they're like, with the sense of humor, gives it the wrong facts. Anyways, please continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. Symbolizes the fragility of life and relationships. Symbolizes breaking down barriers. Symbolizes the Jewish approach to life. which is to keep things in perspective, biding times of joy with struggle together, being mindful of history in the future. Apparently, it frightens demons. The loud noise of breaking glass is a way of frightening and appeasing demons that are attracted to the happy couple.
Okay.
I mean, that it makes sense.
I mean, I would do it all the time now.
I can just see like once a week going into my kitchen and just like breaking a glass or shattering a plate to dispel negative energy.
Yeah, just make sure I'm gonna like buy like really, 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 really cheap glass now, like cups and stuff, just for this season.
Okay, we are not poking fun. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not poking fun.
Yeah.
I just find it.
But no, it's like I forget where it, I don't remember if it was in a book or something I saw online or something, but one of the things that I believe is that a way to dispel negative energy is with sound, ringing of bells.
Yes, I agree with that actually.
So I have little bells, little handbells scattered around throughout my house. Now, as a joke, my husband hung like those big dinner bells that would be like outside of a log cabin or whatever.
Mhm.
There's a little dinner bell hanging just outside of the bathroom in the basement. Because if someone went in, did their business, and quote unquote killed the bathroom, he would ring the bell. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, I can't believe I'm telling people that I have a bell in my house that people ring every time they do number 2, the bathroom. But yeah, it became a joke. It became a joke because, to be honest, my husband doesn't understand anything that I do when it comes to intuition and witchcraft and everything else like that. So I know that I don't know if he was trying to be supportive or just being a smartass. I'm pretty sure he was just being a smartass. But yeah, there's a bell hanging right outside the bathroom in the basement.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings up the good luck and the bad luck. Yes. I'm sorry, folks. I know we're coming up.
Yeah. No, this episode of recording about superstitions and lore and stuff is just really taking a very odd turn.
It has. And I think it's just so interesting because like when we think about the superstitions and whatnot, like I get it. What like the whole use of superstitions is to help people behave. I don't know. There's something about it.
Well, I don't know. I believe part of it is to explain things that we just don't understand.
Yeah.
And a lot of lore and myths and everything else like that from way, 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 way back then was specifically for that because we didn't have science, we didn't have explanations in our faith, there were, without people who were able to study, they might not have known that the reason the earth shakes was because of an earthquake.
Right. And it's interesting because the power of belief, I mean,
Oh, the power of belief is amazing.
yeah, once
Because you can really mess with people.
yeah, and move things with the power of belief. So it's just like, and then if you get enough people to believe in something, yeah, you move a lot of things.
Yeah, and you can cause terror in slumber parties when you're a teenager, but that's beside the point.
Yes, you can. And with that, folks, please enjoy the rest of your evening.
Enjoy your Friday the 13th. Enjoy the Halloween. We will try and get this one aired sooner rather than later, so then that way everyone can enjoy it for the spooky holiday season. And don't make fun of me for my bells.
Oh, I please don't. Also, too, and if you decide to put up bells in your own home, we would love those photos as well. Please send them.
Yes, by all means.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
In fact, you know what? When this episode airs, I will post a photo of the bell that hangs outside of that hangs in my basement
Wonderful.
on the Instagram account. Just because, if anyone's interested.
We're all curious. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.